Sometimes when you're putting together an audio production, you need a sound effect or two. You might need a door slamming or a crowd clapping or a crowd booing. Just never know. Just depends on what you're trying to create. So what I want to do today is lead you through a little session where you gather some sound effects off the internet, import them into Audacity, and then time shift them so they don't all play at the same time. So that's what we're going to be working on here today. There are 3 steps to this. First of all, you have to get some sounds off of the internet. Well, I'm going to use a site, and this is what I want you to use. I've got a link on if you go to my project guides on my webpage, there will be a link for this. It's called grsites.com, grsites.com. I've got it up here in the address bar, and I'm going to go to that website. Over here on the archives, there's sound effects right here, and that's where I'm headed. All right. Now, when you get here, what I'm trying to show you right now is how to save these sound effects on your network drive so that you can use them and get them into Audacity. Now here you've got all these different categories of sound effects: aircraft, animals, background sounds, bell sounds, bird sounds. There's all kinds of things here. I'm going to use some things that come from the cartoon sound effects category, but you could actually browse these a little bit and find whatever suits you. You know, you can collect whatever sound effects within reason that you want. Now, I'm going to ask you to get 5 of them, and this is all, again, on my website. There's a handout for this, and there's a link to this GR Sites website as well. So I'm going to go to this cartoon sound section, and I'm going to go to page 2. There are several pages, but here's how this site works. I've got all of these little cartoon sound effects here, and for example, this one says it's a squeak and a pop. This number 14 says it's a squeak and a pop. I'm going to just click this play button, and there's what it sounds like right there. If I decide I want that one, then what I would do is there's an option down here that says download as WAV or MP3. MP3s are better because they're a little bit smaller. If you have to download a WAV, you can. It's not the end of the world, but I'm going to download an MP3. Now here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to right click on where it says MP3. I'm going to go to Save Link As. Alright, so it's a right click, Save Link As. It'll take a second here. It'll come up here with a dialog box. I'm going to get to my network drive, drive H, and this says down here cartoon number 14, which, you know, that's okay with me. I could change the name if I wanted to, but cartoon number 14 sounds okay. I'll just keep that name. So I'll just go ahead and save it, and I'll replace that. That's fine. And now that has put that sound effect on my network drive. Now I'm going to go ahead and collect 4 more real quickly here, like this ricochet sound effect. That sounds good. I'll use that one. So I'm going to right click, Save Link As, and this is going to be cartoon number 16. Okay, I'll save that. Great, got that one. That's 2 down, 3 to go. Let's see. Let's see what this rapid sequence sounds like. I don't think I want that one. That one's a little bit too long for me. So how about the zip sound effect? That sounds fun. So I'll do a right click, Save Link As, and this is number 23. Okay, I got that one. And I could look on other pages. A backwards drip. That sounds good. I'll do a right click, Save Link As. I'm just kind of picking some random sound effects, and you can pick whatever you want. Keep it school appropriate. You know, you might find some things on this website that aren't the best choices, but I think you can find some that will work. That one's a little bit too long. I don't like that one. I like that one. Okay, so I'm going to do a right click, Save Link As, and this will be number 31, and that's my 5th one. So that's how this site works. If you find a sound effect that you want, you click on these links, MP3, right click, Save Link As, get to your network drive, save it on your network drive. Alright, well now I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to fire up Audacity. Alright, so I get Audacity going. I'm going to go ahead and close this box. Now the next step here is to get those sound effects into Audacity. Here's how that's going to work. You go to the File menu, and my menu is kind of stretching off of the recording window a little bit, but I think you can see it. I'm going to the File menu and going to Import Audio. There is a keyboard shortcut if you like it, Control-Shift-I. So I'm going to import audio. In this window, I need to get to my network drive. That's where I saved all of those. You have to pay attention to where you saved them. You know, in my demo here, I said save them on your network drive. Well, okay, that's drive H right here, so I'm going to go look there. And I have clicked on Date Modified right up here at the top. Stretch that out a little bit. I've clicked on Date Modified because what that will do, normally it lists everything just alphabetical by name with all the folders at the top, and then you got all this other stuff down below it. Well, if I click on Date Modified, it puts the newest things right up here at the top, and those are, see those? That's cartoon 14, 16, 23, 15, 31. Those are the ones I just saved off of that grsites.com. Alright, so I'm going to start off with this one right here, this cartoon 14. I'll open that up, and it shows up in Audacity. I could play it if I want to. There it is. Alright, now I'm just going to continue to do that. File, import audio. And I'll get the next one. This was number 16 right here, and I'll open that. Now, here's what's happening. You know, these are stacking up here. If I play them now, they're kind of happening at the same time. We'll solve that problem in a minute. I'm going to go File, Import Audio, and I'll get my next one. This is number 23 right here. I'm just kind of working my way up here. So number 23, I'll open that up, and here it is. Alright, so that you can see I'm getting a new audio track every time I put one in there, and every time I import one. Alright, so I'm going to keep going. File, Import Audio, and I'll get this one, open that up. Now it's gotten to where I've added enough audio tracks that I have to scroll this up and down. You know, sometimes people miss that if you keep adding audio tracks, then eventually you're going to have to use this scroll bar over on the right hand side to be able to see all of your audio tracks. There's also a scroll bar across the bottom, and sometimes you get to where you have to scroll it across the bottom as well. Alright, now File, Import Audio, and I'm going to get my last one. This is my 5th one. You need 5 sound effects. Alright. You can also just roll your mouse wheel and it will take it up and down as well. Now, the last thing that you have to do, if I play this right now, all of these sound effects are just playing at the same time, and that's not really what I want. I would rather have them go back to back. You know, I want one of them and then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And they're not going to make a whole lot of sense. They're just random sound effects. Well, the way that you can do that, up here on the toolbar, there's a little 6-button toolbar up here right next to like the record button. If you find the record button, look right next to it. There's this toolbar that has these different tools that you can use, and one of them has an arrow with 2 heads on it, with 2 points on it. So that's called the Time Shift tool, and I'm going to click that tool. Now, this is really easy. All I have to do here is just slide, you know, the second audio track that has the I don't remember what sound effect that is, but I can just slide it down so it happens after the first one. Here's that little pop. And so the first one happens, and I can slide this second one down so it happens afterward. They could overlap a little bit if you want them to. Now on the third audio track, I'm going to slide that down, and this is where you may have to scroll your window a little bit so you can get them into position where you want. All right, you might have to scroll up and down and also side to side. All right, now I got to go back here and get, this is a little short one here, so I got to scroll this guy over. And we're just kind of working with multiple tracks here. I've got multiple tracks and different sounds on each track, and I'm shifting them in time. I don't want them all to happen at the same time. So I'm using this Time Shift tool, like I'm taking this one right now and say, okay, let's make that one play later. All right, so I'm pushing it down the timeline. And just combination of scrolling and moving the track. And again, they can overlap a little bit, and you can tell, you know, we learned this in a previous lesson that a flat line like that means silence, and you could take this selection tool, the one that looks like the letter I, and you could drag over that and touch delete, and you could get rid of some of that. Now if you want to move something, you have to use the Time Shift tool, and that's the 2-pointed arrow on the toolbar there. Alright, well now let's take a listen to all of this. Now all my sound effects are playing kind of back to back, which is what I was going for. That's what I wanted. Perfect. Alright, so now I've got this multi-track thing put together, and again, use your scroll bars here. You got to scroll up and down, scroll sideways if you need to. I've got this multi-track thing put together, all these different sound effects on different tracks. So now it's time to save it. Here's how that works. You go up to your file menu, and I'm going to export it just like we've always done. Again, that menu may be going off of the recording a little bit, but I think you can see it. I'm going to export it. Now I do want to put this on my network drive, on drive H, so I'll click here on computer, double click here on drive H. That's where I want it to go. So I've got drive H. Now I want to change the name of this. This comes up saying Cartoon 14. I don't want that. I want to call this multi-track. That's M-U-L-T-I-T-R-A-C-K. That's what we're doing, is building a multiple track sound file. Alright, so I'm going to call it multi-track. And for the type of file, I want to keep it on MP3. That's what we've been doing the whole time when we export these things. It's an MP3. Alright, so I'm going to hit save, and I've got an old one. Got to click OK on this metadata box. That's normal. Now, because you have multiple tracks, it's going to say your tracks will be mixed down to a single mono channel. That's fine. It might even say single stereo or a stereo channel. That's okay. Alright, just click OK on this box. Could take a second, but mine went pretty quick there, and it's all done. Now when you've done that, when you've gotten 5 sound effects from the internet, you've imported them into Audacity, and you've time shifted them, then here's what you need to do next. On My Big Campus, you will see an assignment posted today, sound number 3, sound effects, and you upload that multi-track file. That multi-track file is what you turn in. Well, folks,